Hey there guys, Fave here, and today we have yet another discussion video, and I'm going to be reading your responses to a question that I asked y'all about a week ago, and the question was, what Roblox games used to be popular, but are now dead? So, Roblox games that were really popular at one point in time, but are now like a shell of their former self. Every opinion that I'll read out in this video, I'll try to see if I can back up with facts and data. But otherwise, I'll just chime in, and before we do that, we have to get into today's challenge. And today's challenge is, if you have a bacon hair, then smash that like button. Also, I noticed most of you aren't subscribed, so what are you doing? Go ahead and subscribe, and hit that bell, and I'll make it rain bacon hairs all across the world. Alright, let's get into it. So I asked the question, what Roblox games used to be popular, but is now dead, and here were your answers. It's That Cube says, Meep City is sorta dying, and Miner's Haven has died down recently. Meep City died from Adopt Me, and Miner's Haven became too grindy. So I'll start with Meep City, the most popular answer in the comments. So Meep City at one point in history was the most played game on Roblox. It had the most visits, it always had the most people in it at any given time, and it was basically the defining game of Roblox. A lot of little kids had Roblox installed on their iPad, but they didn't really realize Roblox was a whole platform, and they just thought of it as the Meep City app. It's the same way a lot of people look at Adopt Me and Brookhaven now, but back then, Meep City was that game around 2017, 2018. Now, a quick look at the front page in the popular section lets you know right now that Meep City is nowhere to be seen among all these popular games. Brookhaven having 500,000 and Adopt Me having 400K. Meep City still has 94,000 people playing the game, but compared to 400,000 and 500,000, that is much less than being the most popular game at one point in history. Now, Meep City is actually more popular now than it was about a year ago. At the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020, Meep City regularly had about 50,000 players in the game, and nowadays it regularly has 80 to 90,000. Still though, it is much less than being the most popular game on Roblox, which it once was. So it's a very popular game that gets millions of visits every single day. So you can't really say it's a dead game when it gets millions of visits every day. But it definitely is no longer the most popular game on Roblox, which you could argue it means it kind of fell off and became less relevant. But Roblox is still huge, and this is still a huge game. I mean, if you were a game dev and you were getting these kind of player numbers on the regular, I think you'd be pretty happy, to say the least. Miner's Haven. Now, this is a game I don't know too much about. Miner's Haven has less than 1,000 people on it right now, despite the fact that it has over 172 million visits. So, what is it about Miner's Haven? Now, a bootleg Minecraft called Miner's Craft and Miner's Cave both have more people in it right now than Miner's Haven, and if we go ahead and look into the game, this game has been pretty dead for a while. Looking like every once in a while it'd have a little burst, but having less than 1,000 players normally isn't the most popular game out there, especially considering many years ago this game was on top. But yeah, it's pretty fair to say that Adopt Me kind of replaced Meep City, and saying Miner's Haven became too grindy, well, that's an opinion you could have. I haven't really played the game, so I don't know. Alright, so Yoon said, people forgot about Pet Simulator. Was really a blast for me, but got bored like a month later. Okay, let's investigate here. Pet Simulator currently has 4,000 people in it, and more people are playing Pet Swarm Simulator right now. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at Pet Simulator, the game has 1 billion visits. So the fact that a game with 1 billion visits only has 4,000 people in it right now is a little strange. Now, to be fair, Pet Simulator has not been updated in over a year, which might contribute to its lessening relevance in the Roblox community. And if we look at the graph, we can see a clear trend downward in its popularity, as it used to pull in 6,000 to 7,000 players at a time, and now it's lucky if it gets 2,000. So, it is fair to say that this game has become less relevant over time, but it still has its community. But yeah, it's definitely a shell of its former self, as it looks like everybody's moved on to Pet Swarm Simulator. So, there you have that. Some people in the replies are saying that people just give away super overpowered pets, and then you just beat the game, and then you're like, now what? So that might contribute to its fall, considering that both of these comments have some thumbs ups on them. Cole's Admin House was the OG admin game, but now is broken and dead. Well, I don't have to pull up any numbers or statistics just to tell you this. Cole's Admin House is dead because Cole's admin is broken. So when a game, the essential function of it is broken and the guy is banned and can't really fix it, there's no reason to play the game anymore, so rest in peace. However, even though Cole's admin house has less than 200 people in it, games like Free Admin are huge, with 11,000 people in it right now. I remember it being part of the Metaverse event, and I did a video about how ridiculous that was. So not a dead genre, but definitely this is a dead game with a bad like ratio. Monster says, Ragdoll Engine used to have 20,000 players playing, but now it has like 2,000 to 3,000 players. Also, most Slenders and CMPs don't play it anymore. Well, thanks for giving me the numbers, basically, Monster. I'll just trust you on that one. Well, people are saying the game is updating, but going from 20,000 to 2,000 to 3,000 is a steep decline, which is unfortunate to see. But Ragdoll Engine, there was never much to the game. You just walk around and flop around, and, you know, I guess, like, there's not much replay value there, so, I don't know. And this video is not meant as a diss to any game developers or anything, because just as easy it is for your game to die, it's just as easy to revive it. All you gotta do is put a cool update in, do some cool advertising, and maybe you'll be back to your former numbers. So, you know, just keep innovating, stay with the times. It's the same way as YouTube. You could have a dying channel, or you could have a living channel. I would say camping, aka the story games, because they died when Piggy got popular. Yeah, there used to be a big genre on Roblox of these story games where you were out in the woods with some friends and it would just tell you a story. But with the insane popularity of Piggy, I've seen Piggy milk sold at grocery stores. Like, it's so popular. And, you know, it just kind of took over the whole genre. It just sucked all of the players away from the other story games, and everybody that likes those games likes Piggy now. So, I guess they just piggybacked off of everything else. Definitely Mining Simulator. It had quite a lot of players and now it's just dead. Well, this game won 4 Bloxies in 2018 and has nearly 1 billion visits, but there's only 3,000 people in it. And once again, looking at the graphs here, you can see a downward trend from having 4,000 to 5,000 people in the game to 2,000 to 3,000. That's like getting cut in half over the past year or so. And not to mention, there was a lot more people in the game before this time period, before it was tracked. So, seeing Mining Simulator fall off along with Miner's Haven is a sign that mining games aren't quite the trend they used to be. So maybe people move to Minecraft for their mining fix or something else, but making games where mining is the main point, it seems like it's going out of style. Jack Cuccio 18 said, Sword Fights on the Heights 4, Dead Zone, Crossroads, Bearer, and Plates of Fate Remastered. Sword Fights on the Heights 4 will always have a small little community, and Shiletsky released an update last year that fixed a lot of its problems with exploiters and stuff. Now, I'm sure there's still exploiters in the game, but at least he fixed the game passes so he's not accidentally scamming a bunch of people. Now, I can't call Sword Fights on the Heights 4 dead, because it hasn't really been alive in many, many years. Like, sure, in 2009 through 2012, it was always on the front page, but most people watching this video didn't even play Roblox back then. Dead Zone and all the other DayZ type games definitely are dead now, including Apocalypse Rising. But, you know, that's just a sign of that whole trend of games, walking simulators just dying. Crossroads is a forever classic. People just don't know the classics. I don't know what Bear is, but Plates of Fate Remastered, let me look into that one. Well, there's currently less than 1,000 people in the game, but I don't know if the game was ever that popular. I don't know. That's up for debate. These aren't the hugest games, but we'll see. One reply says that Plates of Fate is dead because of horrific housing, and those games are basically the same thing, so that makes sense. Hot Potato says, hands down, work at a pizza place. Also, epic minigame. Let's see. Work at a Pizza Place currently has 21,000 people in it and 3 billion visits. I would not call a game that has 20,000 people in it as we speak dead. However, it does have significantly less players than it did about a year ago, where it had 40 to 50,000, and now it has less than 20,000 on a regular basis. So that is more than a half cut over the past year, but I still wouldn't call it dead because it does have a significant player base, and I'm sure Duet 1 is making plenty of money. And considering that this game dates all the way back to 2009, and it's still getting played to this day, I would call that a win in my book. Epic mini games, that was like the biggest thing back in 2014. So let's take a look if it's still as popular as it once was. Currently 13,000 people playing it, but a quick look at the graph shows that, yes, it's less than it was before, but once again, over 10,000 players on a regular basis. I can't call it dead. I just can't. If you have over 10,000 people in your game, normally, that's a win. Ooh, the prison, yes. So Redwood Prison used to be one of the most popular games on Roblox, but then Jailbreak killed off all the other prison games. Roro says, Mad Paintball for sure. 30 million plus visits and now 0 players. Yeah, when Lawless decided to never update any of his games after years, it just kind of killed all of them, breaking all the old scripting and stuff like that. So yeah, you could apply that to any Lawless game. Jailbreak used to be the most popular game on Roblox back in like 2017. That's true. And while the commenter doesn't claim Jailbreak is dead, because it's certainly not, it did used to be the most popular game on Roblox, and it is no longer the most popular game on Roblox. So yeah, Prison Life is also a good mention. Apocalypse Rising is dead. Bubblegum Simulator, this is the last one I'm going to read today. Zorky4x says Bubblegum Simulator. When it first came out, the game had 100,000 plus players. Now it only has 3,000 to 5,000 at max. And the devs only update the game every 1 to 2 months. It used to be every week. I loved Bubblegum Simulator. Back in 2018, I'd play it every day. I spent thousands of Robux in that game to get the rarest pets. And, you know, it's just sad to see that it's no longer as popular as it once was, but I feel like that specific type of game isn't as in favor as it was either. The simulator trend has kind of died down a little. It's still very popular, but Bubblegum Simulator has taken a big hit, and yeah, it's just sad to see. But yeah, I would say the games that got hit the most by just the changing of times are Prison Life and stuff like that, because Jailbreak really took that whole genre by storm, and Mad City to some extent, but we don't talk about that game. One more thing I'd like to mention before wrapping up the video is in 2014, the biggest trend on Roblox was the trend of murder games, which I might do a full video on eventually, where the biggest games on Roblox were Twisted Murderer, Mad Murderer, Murder, and Murder Mystery. And the only game from that era to really be relevant and survive into today is Murder Mystery 2 by Nicholas. But back then, Twisted Murderer was the king for a while. It was the most popular game for a long time, and I loved that game. Unfortunately, all of those games have near to no players in it and are full of exploiters because they haven't been updated in years, but shout out to Murder Mystery 2 for still being super relevant with a very active community today. Anyways, that's about all I have to say today. Let me know what we missed down below. What games do you think fell off in relevance? Let me know. Make sure you smash that like button. Follow me on Instagram at Fave here. Join my groups on Roblox, Roblox Fave Fan Club and Fave's Cave. Join my channel membership, the join button next to the subscribe button. Members saw this video first, and you know, early access to videos, exclusive emojis, priority reply. Join my Discord server, discord.gg/Fave, and it's your boy Fave, and I am out.